Hi everyone, and in today's video I'm going to be reviewing an academy that I attended in preparation for my PRES 3 exam. It's called Dr. PLAB Academy, and the doctor that is facilitating the studies is Dr. Mohammed. And it was a 4-day intensive course. It was actually 2 courses that you can purchase separately. So the first course, 2-day course, was interpretational skills course, and then the second part, so 2 more days, was the clinical examinations course. So I attended this course about 3 weeks before my exam, and I felt like that was the perfect time to do any sort of courses. You still have time to brush up on your knowledge before the exam, and your knowledge is still fresh. But in today's video, I just want to focus on the academy itself, and I want to give my brutally honest opinion on how I felt doing this course, and if I recommend it to any of you preparing for PRES 3 exam. So I have made some notes on my iPad. I'm gonna be following. A little disclaimer: I did not pass PRES 3 exam, so I don't want you to think that I'm trying to be mean or I'm trying to say not bad things, but I'm trying to critique this academy just because I did not pass personally the exam. That is not the case at all. Actually, the notes that I have right here were made long before I even knew the result of my exam. So I feel like I am trying to be as non-biased as I can while still being, a human being that has feelings and has opinions. So I just hope you can watch this video with an open mind. And if you personally went to this academy and if you personally enjoyed your experience, I feel like it's completely valid, and you shouldn't feel like I am just contradicting you or I'm trying to prove that my opinion matters more than yours. No, I want you to make up your own opinion, and I want you to stick to it. This video is primarily for people that have never heard about the academy and they're just trying to get a better sense of what they can expect. And I think being a woman also affected my experience, and I'm gonna explain in more detail a bit later why. I never thought that I'm gonna be, even touching on that, but unfortunately I have to address some of the things that I felt personally as a woman being in this academy. I'm gonna be sharing pros and cons of this course, and I'm gonna be actually reviewing them separately. Because they were very different in content. So they are tailored for 2 different parts of the exam. One is for clinical examination, so this is the practical part where you actually get to encounter not real patients, I mean people are portraying patients and you have to be in real clinical scenarios. And the second part is interpretational skills, where you basically presented in a written form a certain lab test or a certain image, and you have to interpret it. So I'm gonna start with data interpretation course. It was 2 days, and per day I think we were online with Dr. Mohammed for about 6 to 7 hours. Originally I think it was supposed to be from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. for 2 days. It's really convenient from the point of timings, because it's always on weekend. It was 2 weekends in a row, 2 courses. So for people that work 5 days a week, I think it's a perfect opportunity to utilize their weekends before the exam. So it was from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. but we actually both days ended up finishing earlier than that, around 5, or I think on the first day we even finished around 4:30 p.m. and we did have a break, a little break both days, but they were so inconsistent, like they were really random. There was not a set time, and I found it really frustrating because one day like we were just giving a break like 2 hours in, and then we had no break until 4:30, and then the other day we had a random 5-minute break in the middle, and then another 15-minute break towards the end, where I felt like majority of people would just rather keep going. So there was no clear schedule, I have to say. This was, for me, it was a personal con of the academy. Regarding the pros, I really like how Dr. Mohammed speaks. I feel like he's carrying out the information very clearly. I felt that he understands the material. I felt like he's really knowledgeable, smart doctor. I felt like he's really confident, and I felt like it was the information that's been passed on is really thoroughly researched. So in that way, I feel like I really liked the way he was giving us the material. So as an additional, so basically the course itself, it's a Zoom session, but we had our materials that they were sent to us about a month before the course began. And the materials were basically some Word files, and the main thing was the PowerPoint presentation that we have to make some notes on. So it was not all like already made up. We had to make some notes. And what I found really not like another, I would say it's not a con, is that the presentations looked bad. Like they looked like they were made by an 8th grade or 7th grade student, even probably younger than that, you know. You know how when we were in school and we needed to do a PowerPoint, people did this weird shaping thing and this really bright colors that were unnecessary for the material that was being put on the slides. And this is how it felt. Like I didn't feel like the materials were, it was just, it takes a little bit of effort to make the presentations look pretty, but I think it makes a big difference in how the student will recall the information that is written on the slide. So this is again my personal con, because I like when everything is pretty. And yeah, I guess that kind of caught my attention, that the PowerPoints could definitely use some more work. The course is not, I wouldn't say the course is cheap, because we paid £150 per course. So that means that it's £75 per day. And I feel like for that price, for I would say 5 to 6 hours of Zoom and this PowerPoint, it was not like on the level that I was expecting to be. But that was, I would say that would be more my personal preference. I'm sure that many of the students did not feel that way, and they couldn't care less how the materials would look like. But apart from the PowerPoint presentation, we're also given some Word documents, and I have to say some Word documents were almost unreadable. Like it felt like they were kind of scanned and photocopied over and over again. So by the time they got scanned and sent to us, they were already kind of very blurry. So I struggled a lot reading some of them. Like I could still read it, but it was just, you know, it was not something you expect from a course for £150. So that would be my con. And then my pro would be definitely that all the information provided in data interpretation course was extremely relevant and high yield. Extremely, I have to say, like I was amazed how structured and just relevant to the exam material it was. On the real exam, yes, I did encounter something that was not covered in the course, but if I have to sum it up, I would say that about 80% of everything that you might encounter is in the course. So obviously this is not the 100%, but still, I feel like it's a really, they put there only the most relevant things that you need to know in order like to have minimum knowledge to pass the exam. And if I have to recommend like data interpretation course, I would definitely recommend. And also for people, this can be a pro and a con depending on what kind of person are you. So if you have a full-time job, the course being only 2 days and only 6 days, 6 hours per day, I think it's really good. So like you don't have to spend a lot of time devoting to it. It's kind of like quick. You just do a rapid review of everything and then you're done. I think for people like that, it's a pro. But then for other people, it might be also a con, because I know that PLAB 2 academies, for example, the ones that carried out over in the UK, they are 2 to 3 weeks. So they're way longer and they study every single day. And for some people, I feel like that would be more beneficial. Some people just cannot cram so much information in one day. And I would definitely be the type of person that prefers longer studies rather than shorter periods of time. But that is, I wouldn't put it in a pro or con. For me, it would be like some kind of in the middle, because it's just definitely a matter of personal preference. And obviously if this course was longer, it would probably cost also more money. So money wise, it's also something to consider, because the exam is not cheap, and obviously the time you devote that you cannot work, also you have to sustain yourself. So overall, I feel like £150, it was an okay price for what we got. This course, the data interpretation course, I would definitely 100% recommend to take before your exam. I feel like it will cover all the relevant information. It will be fast, it will be snappy, it will just go over everything. And Dr. Mohammed had a very nice manner and very nice tone of voice, and I felt at ease listening to him, and I felt so much more prepared after the course, and I gained a lot of confidence also. But regarding the clinical examinations course, so this course was similar, 2 days, 5 to 6 hours per day, finished earlier than it was said, random breaks, all similar structure. But there was one crucial difference. I would not recommend that course. That was 150 pounds that I should have spent on literally anything else. I did not gain any knowledge from that course. All the things that were said and shown on that course can be 100% just watched on YouTube. And the reason why is because basically this 2-day course that took 12 hours of my life was just PowerPoint presentation done by Dr. Mohammed, partially, and I say partially, you'll know why in a second, which basically was just description of different clinical examinations. For example, how to take blood, and instead of like telling us some tips and tricks or something like that, it was just a slide that was just step by step, just a guide how to take the bloods. But like all of this you can see on YouTube, all of this you can read on the internet. You do not need a slide, just basic. And Dr. Mohammed, like, he was just reading out loud the steps to an exam, and I felt like it was completely useless because it didn't give me any knowledge. Like, I already read all of that. I already read all these steps before long before this course. So I felt like, what am I doing here? Why am I just listening to someone reading out loud slides on PowerPoint? So if this is not how you learn, and I feel like no one should learn clinical skills like that. Honestly, all of this is available online. You do not need someone to just read out loud to you steps to a procedure for 150 pounds. So this course I would not recommend personally. It's still up to you, but I would definitely not recommend. It was also well structured, and yes, Dr. Mohammed did give us some tips and tricks on how to tackle the station overall. But again, all of this is kind of widely available online, and I don't remember having, honestly, like anything that I have never heard before, or anything that actually really helped me on the exam. No, everything that I heard on this 2-day course, I already heard somewhere else, and I already read somewhere else, or I already watched the video over it, like Geeky Medics. Geeky Medics is the YouTube channel that you need to tackle clinical examinations part. You do not need a course. Maybe an offline course where you can actually work with mannequins, and you can simulate procedures with other doctors maybe. But this particular course, no. A Zoom call where someone is reading over the material, definitely not the way to go in my opinion. And now we're getting to, oh yeah, and the very important part that I don't even know if I should say that, but I feel like I should. So unfortunately, in the PowerPoint that was given to us for clinical examinations part for that course, many slides were just pictures from various YouTube channels, including Geeky Medics and including some other YouTube channels that I watched. And I knew that these pictures have nothing to do with Dr. PLAB Academy or with Dr. Mohammed, and they used those pictures. And I feel like this is so wrong because they did not credit them. Like, I would have no problem if they used the picture and like on the slide they would say, this photo was taken from this channel, or this belongs to Geeky Medics. Like, I would have no problem with that. People do this all the time. Like, as long as you credit someone for their work, this is absolutely normal. There is nothing wrong with that, even if you sell this course for money, in my opinion. But when you not credit them, like, some people might think that this is your work, like this is your doing, and this is plagiarism, no? So that was extremely, I felt like it was extremely inappropriate to use those pictures without crediting the authors. And moreover, on some of the slides, because obviously the PowerPoints were protected by the copyright, on some of the slides with a picture clearly taken from some YouTube channel, there was Dr. PLAB Academy written on the slide. I felt like this was just so wrong on so many levels. So that was definitely a thing that stuck with me, and one of the reasons I wouldn't recommend this particular course. Okay, and to kind of finish up about the Academy, I want to talk about some deeper issues, some deeper feelings that I felt during those courses. So, as much as I feel like Dr. Mohammed is a very professional and a very good doctor and a very knowledgeable doctor, I also felt, I wouldn't say attacked, but I felt kind of singled out for one reason only, of being a female. There was several, in my opinion, I guess, inappropriate moments that I felt like, why are we even talking about that? Like, why are we even bringing this up? So there were several times where Dr. Mohammed said phrases like, oh, especially for, oh, I haven't heard in a while from any participants, especially from women here. It's like, the word especially women was several times. And also there was this moment where we were discussing about an X-ray. We were discussing an X-ray, and an X-ray had this sign, and the sign, it's a sign of a bowel obstruction, and the name of the sign is pearl necklace. And when Dr. Mohammed was describing that sign, he was like, oh, this will be very easy to remember our female doctors here, because it's called the pearl necklace. And I felt like, why? Why? Just because it's pearls, and pearls are usually worn by women? I felt so, I don't know, just uneasy and kind of like squeamish and almost like icky. Like, honestly, like, come on, this is 2023 now, 2022 when I took the course, and we are saying that women will remember a pearl necklace because it's pearls better than men. It's like, and this was only one of the comments that now I don't recall any of them. I want to point out that none of them were directly offensive to anyone. And actually we had a moment where one of the people on this course, he said something that was like he said something that was wrong, and another doctor laughed, like in the microphone, laughing at his answer, and Dr. Mohammed called him out. Like, he said, we're not laughing here, like this is not appropriate, we're all colleagues here, we're all doctors here. And I felt like that was really nice. But this is everything that I wanted to tell you about Dr. Mohammed's course on PRES 3 examination. I will leave a link to the Academy below. And I just want to quickly repeat, just aside from all my personal feelings for the course, definitely recommend data interpretational skills, and definitely do not recommend clinical examinations part of the course. I feel like not necessary. You can, you can skip that. And also a little remark, I felt like Dr. Mohammed went extra mile to help us like gain more confidence in the exam. He actually held a webinar. So we had two PRES 3 exams in September and October, and after the September attempt he held a webinar just kind of going through like the feedback from people that took the exam in September. And we were just for 1 hour, he was like going through the material, and he was just saying what happened and how we can prepare for the October attempt. And it was really nice. It was a really extra thing that was free for anyone who attends the Academy, and I felt like it was an extremely nice touch, and I think that's what made me feel like overall it was definitely worth it. I will not be obviously taking the same course again, because I just feel like I already have the materials. I remember more or less everything that was going on, so I'm not going to be taking that course again to prepare for my second attempt. But I just wanted to make this video to help someone out there to decide whether they would like to join this academy or not. I know that there is extremely not enough data on any of those places. And to be honest, all of the reviews that I saw about various academies, of PLAB 2 academies. PRES 3, I have never read any reviews, and PLAB 2 academies, they're usually always positive. So it's really hard sometimes to make up your mind because no one talks about things that are not positive. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you like this video. And please, if you have any questions, you can always write me a comment and I will answer every single one of you. Thank you. Bye.